in animal behavior, this is several factors to describing in an expression, and some of the areas covered involved in the study of the influence outside the individual. So first, we are going to start with the learning behavior. There are 5 types of learning behavior that are conditioning, imprinting, habituation, insight, and observational. First is conditioning behavior. This is result from the response to the condition by stimulating, and this is behavior that not previous with the animal before, like innate behavior. There are 2 types of conditioning behavior that are classical and operant conditioning behavior. For classical, today I will explain to the even Pavlov famous experiment. The Pavlov inserted small test tubes to make sure the saliva of the dog. When he gave them meat, and when he gave it the meat, he used the ring to bell. He used the bell to ring it, and then he experimented by he rang the bell with no meat provided. As a result, there are some small saliva that inside the test tube, so we can conclude that the dog is respond to the other stimulus rather than the original one. So this is an associated behavior. And the second one, this is the operant behavior, or we can call it as animal training or training, because we will give them a reward when they do a positive behavior and give them a punishment when they do a negative behavior. So they will repeat the positive. For imprinting behavior, this is the behavior that appears to involve in a critical period. So we need a right stimulus and right time. So the example is like a mom and their children when they birth. So there is a big extension to the mom by the visual, auditory, or textile experiences. So there are the most example happen with the bird, chicken, ducks, and geese. So we will give the example of the Conrad Lorenz experiment. He appeared to the ducks when they hatches. So after that, the ducks follow him and think that he is their moms.
First, we talk about habituation. Behavior in which unproductive results are soon disregarded. Then the stimulus repeat that cause them is no response. We choose some examples for this. First is a scarecrow. When the crowd first sees scarecrow, they may flee somewhere else. But if they see the scarecrow day over day, they may ignore it and come with no scare. This definition can apply to the shepherd boy and the wolf. The shepherd boy held for the villager to help him because he said that the wolf came to eat his sheep, but the villager found that there is no wolf come to eat. So that when the boy see the wolf again, the villager doesn't came to help him because they think the wolf will not come from the previous experience. And this definition can also explain why the wildlife animals be familiar with people, because they realize that humans cannot harm them. Next, we talk about insight or reasoning. Reasoning is the result when an animal performs a successful behavior by applying 2 or more previous experience to solve the problem to the new situation. We choose some example about the chimpanzee who set the box up together to grab the banana at the top of the ceiling. Or if we put the piece of apple far away from the chimpanzee will pick some long pole to drag it near them, and it can pick it easily. Next, I will show you a video how will the chimpanzee respond to this problem. Let's see.
At the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Leipzig, Germany, psychologist Joseph Cole places a peanut inside a clear tube. How can the chimpanzee get the snack? She's never seen this puzzle before.
For 10 minutes, there is no solution in sight. And all of a sudden, boom, they solve it. to understand that they can use the water as a tool. This is interesting because the water itself, it doesn't have any shape.
Using water as a tool seems like something we would do on a good day.
Next, the last learning behavior we will talk about observational. Observational is when individuals copy the behavior of another without having previously experienced the stimulus that produced that behavior. For example, the cat or dog can copy the human conduct, like in the picture, or you can see that the children can copy some behavior of an adult. That is all of our learning behavior that we talk about.
So it is a fact that all animals move from one place to another, but not all of them move at the same way. Different animals use this different kind of type of movement to move from one to another. There are basically three types of it. The first is group, secondly is kinesis, and the lastly is taxis. So let's talk about the group first. If a movement from one place to another as a group, it is known as migration. And as we know that basically migration is due to that the bird move from one place to another due to the climate changes. But that's not it. That is not the only type of movement form that becomes a migration. There's a lot of another type of movement that becomes migration, not only due to conditional weather, maybe geographical, or maybe available of food source, and maybe another or factors as well.
Next, kinesis and taxis are two types of movement-related behavior. Kinesis is an increase in random movement. For example, pill bugs increase activity as they dry out and try to find the moist area. And taxis is a movement in a particular direction that toward or away from stimuli. For example, plants growing toward light, or they are running away from rustling in a brush.
Communication. Animal has four types of communication: chemical, visual, auditory, and tactile. Chemical. Animal use pheromone which trigger a response when smell. In case of bees, the worker is a pheromone and it prevents them from developing reproduction ability. Bees use pheromone for a number of different communication and behavioral control purposes. One pheromone may cause many different responses, depending on environmental and condition and pheromone concentration. Another example is that lion use it to attract opposite sex. Visual. Usually observed during courtship or aggressive behavior. When defending territory or establishing pecking order, the bicolor tell a prospective mate that the male is a substitute choice. And another example is that when the dog waves his tail, it tells you that he is happy.
For auditorial communication is based on sound, which widely used in animal kingdom. For example, monkey cry out when predator is coming, so others will have a chance to escape. For tactile communication, refer that animal communicate through the sense of touch. For example, mother tigers lick a natural damage.
The next is social. It refers to the individuals behave in two different settings. The first is in a group or on their own. The second is make contact with other organisms within their species or outside their species. And the most successful interactions survive as still the individuals or the groups that exhibit them. The first type of social is agonistic. Agonistic behavior is aggressive behavior that actually has great survival value. The second one is dominance. Dominance establishes hierarchies or pecking order and also minimizes conflict within a group.
The next is territoriality. It is a behavior that ensures a full supply, a place for productive activities, and successful rallying of influence. For the last one is altruistic. It is seemingly unselfish behavior that is not beneficial or harmful to an individual, but increase in the fitness of the group by ensuring survival of the species and parental genes.
Behavior is a behavior that already exists inside the individual, and it's separated into two groups: fixed action pattern and instinct. Instinct is the way animals naturally react or behave without having to think or learn about it. A natural animal instinct, for example, is to protect themselves from any danger and predators. Another example is when a bird builds a nest. It knows exactly how to build it without having to learn it from another bird.
A fixed action pattern, or FAP, is a predictable series of action triggered by the cue, sometimes called a key stimulus. So a fixed action pattern is more complex than a reflex. It's automatic and involuntary. Once triggered, it will go on to completion, even if the key stimulus is removed in the meantime. Another classic example of a fixed action pattern comes from the three-spined stickleback, a small freshwater fish. During the breeding season, male sticklebacks develop a red belly and display innate aggressive behavior towards another male. When a male stickleback spots another nearby male, he will launch into a fixed action pattern involving aggressive displays designed to scare off the stranger. The specific stimulus that triggered its fixed action pattern is the red belly correlation pattern to characteristic of the males during the breeding season. How do we know this is a trigger? In the lab, researchers exposed male fish to objects that were painted red on their lower halves, but didn't otherwise look like a fish. The male sticklebacks responded expressively to the objects as if they were male sticklebacks. In contrast, no response was triggered by lifelike male stickleback models that were painted white. A well-studied example of fixed action pattern occurs in ground nesting water birds like gray-legged geese. If a female gray-legged goose egg rolls out of her nest, she will instinctively use her bill to push the leg back into the nest in a series of very stereotyped, predictable movements. The sight of an egg outside the nest is a stimulus that triggers the retrieval behavior. It is not too hard to imagine why this hardwired trait would be favored by natural selection. Goose mothers that retrieve their lost eggs are likely to have more surviving offspring, on average, than those that don't. However, this fixed action pattern can also occur under the circumstances where it does not benefit the goose. If the egg that rolled off of the nest is picked up and taken away, the goose will keep moving her head as though pushing an imaginary egg. The goose will try to push any egg-shaped object, such as golf ball, if it is placed near the nest. In fact, she will even carry out the retrieval pattern in response to much larger objects, such as a volleyball. This example illustrates the fixed aspects of a fixed action pattern. In the great majority of cases of goose is likely to encounter nature. The behavior of rolling egg-like object near the nest back into the nest will be beneficial. However, it is simply a biological program that runs in the responses to stimulus and can have unhelpful results under the unusual circumstances.